Alright guys, in this video we're going to be talking about using Canva for commercial use because I know a lot of people love Canva, especially in the online space, online business owner space, but you need to make sure you're not violating the terms that they set forth by using their product. So first thing is to give you a little basic understanding of licensing, what it is, and how to know if you have the right license. So if you've probably heard of copyright, right? It's where, there's an exclusive right granted to authors to control their work. This means that when someone creates something, a painting, a book, a song, they have the right to decide whether others are allowed to copy, distribute, display, perform, adapt, or translate their work. If you don't own the copyright to any content, such as a photograph, illustration, video clip, or written text, then you need a license to use it as part of your work. And there's different types of licenses available depending on what you're using within Canva and how you're using it. So Canva does offer two different types of licenses. The first one is a free content license, and the second one is a pro content license, otherwise known as a one design use license. So basically, you get the applicable license automatically when you export your Canva design for each piece of content, contained in your design, right? Because you're usually using multiple elements, maybe multiple graphics, all sorts of things. So each license allows for you to use that content in certain ways. And you need to make sure that you are only using Canva content under the terms of that license. Okay, so that's what licensing is. Let's take a step back and look at Canva content versus your content. If you're using Canva, then you know you can upload your own photos, graphics, even fonts to use in your designs. You retain ownership of this content. Okay, if you upload content under a brand, then the brand will retain the ownership. Okay, the content you upload and maintain ownership over is what Canva calls user content. So content made available on Canva for you to use is in their licensing agreements referred to as stock media. It can include things like stock images, illustration fonts, templates, other media, along with associated text. You are not allowed to upload user content that you don't have the right to make available. So you can't go steal an image off of Google Photos, upload it to Canva, and say you own it. Basically, that's what that means. Okay, if you upload a template that contains images, videos, or other files, you have to have permission to use that template in that manner. So yeah, now, once you are designing something in Canva, how can you use it commercially? So with the exception of Pro Music, which I just wouldn't touch Canva's music, I don't know that there's an example in which you can use it. So just ignore sort of music that's offered on Canva. Go purchase something you can use. But you can create stuff for promotion and or resale without any reproduction limit. So you can sell the following types of things that you create that includes, stock media found on Canva. So invitations, advertising and promotional products, including printed materials, product packaging, presentations, commercials, catalogs, video presentations, brochures, greeting cards, postcards, entertainment applications like a book, or magazine cover, newsletter, things like that. You can also use stock media to create social media posts, design templates solely for use on Canva. We're going to talk more about templates in a second. Online or electronic publications like websites, blogs, but there are some restrictions if the media you're using within Canva is considered pro content, right? So you'll notice it's got like the little, I think it's like a crown that says it's pro and you need a license for it. And even if you're not on a pro Canva account, you can purchase. I think it's like $1 per element. Okay, so using free content allows you to download any design that uses free content or download it on its own and then use it as templates. Right, so you can sell templates so long as you're only using free content from Canva. If you are using pro elements, you cannot sell those templates commercially. All right, so if you're using any kind of pro element, that's not a template you can sell. That's the bottom line. If you need to go back and check your templates that you sell, you should do that and update and edit. Okay. You also can't use any content as part of a design that you plan to trademark, design mark, trade name, business name, or service mark. So this is where a lot of people think they can't create logos on Canva. You absolutely can create a logo on Canva. You're just not going to be able to register it as a trademark. Because it's not something wholly unique. Anyone can make it on Canva, right? So you can use Canva to create your logo. You just aren't going to be able to file a registered trademark for it. Additionally, any stock media, so stuff that, elements and stuff you can find in Canva that's labeled as editorial use only, can't be used for commercial purposes. And then the rest of like the no stuff you shouldn't be doing is pretty common sense, right? Like, don't steal content, don't remove copyright or trademark, watermark, stuff like that. Don't enable others to steal things. Don't use it as a standalone basis. So for on-demand distribution, you can't like take a Canva template and then turn around and try to sell that template without, when you've done nothing to create it. You also can't use the stock media in any way that's defamatory or libelous in nature, or would put any person depicted in the content, so some of those stock photos, in a bad light or in a way that, may find offense. So you also should note that when it comes to stock photos on Canva, the photos coming from Pixabay, Pexels, or basically Creative Commons may allow some of the activities. So you want to check the licensing. If you are worried about creating a template and accidentally using a pro element, then I highly recommend that you use the filters Canva provides, because you can filter to only show free elements and to exclude pro elements. And you can also always click on the little eye with a circle. It's the information icon, and it will tell you information about that piece of stock content. If it's for Canva Pro, Canva Free, if it's come from Pixabay, so that will tell you. All right. So that's really it for, using Canva for commercial use as an online business owner. If you're selling templates, make sure you're only using free elements. Don't steal stuff. It's pretty common sense. I think the biggest misnomer is that you can't create a logo using Canva. You can, you just can't trademark it. And that, maybe you don't realize that if you're selling templates, you can only use free elements. But, and this is, as of January 2023, they do regularly update their terms and conditions. So I would definitely just take a quick peek. They work hard to make it easily understandable if you're struggling, but take a quick peek if you are watching this, 6 months, a year from now, to make sure that it's still up to date.